Is life hard or are you soft?
Ho, ho, ho. What's going on, guys? Have you ever asked yourself, have you ever wondered, why is life so hard? Right? You do things, you go through things in life, and you wonder, why is life so hard? What is it about this thing we call life that's so hard? Why is losing weight so hard? Why are all these things so hard? Let me tell you a secret, brother. All right? This is the secret. Life is not hard. You're just soft. And if you are offended by that, if you take offense to that, that's good. That is a sign in the right direction. Because the truth is that if you feel offended, that's because it has some truth to it. That's because deep down inside, you know that that's the truth, but you just haven't really been looking yourself in the mirror and being honest with yourself. If you tell me something and it offends me, which 9 times out of 10 I'm not going to get offended by anything. Why? Because at the end of the day, if someone tells me something about myself that is true, I'm going to take heed to it. I'm going to listen to it. Even if someone is hating. If someone's hating on me, I don't care. You want to know why? Because they're telling me what my weak spot is. So that way, now I know, and now I can work on that specific spot, on that specific point. Someone tells me, "Oh, you mumble too much." Okay, now I know that I mumble too much. Let me just work on that. So if I tell you that and you get offended, that's good. You probably haven't been offended because nobody has told you the truth. So the truth is, life is not hard. You're just soft. Life is not hard. And listen to me and try to separate your emotions from what you're hearing, okay? Because if you feel personally attacked, you have to listen to what I'm saying and try to extract the value. What is the value? What am I actually trying to tell you? Because if I say life's not hard, you're soft, and you get mad and you just click off the video, well, guess what? You're not going to get any value from it. You have to learn that people that you might not even like, you could still gain value from them. So let me go ahead and tell you what I mean by that. When you say life is hard, no, you're soft. When you say losing weight is hard, no, you're soft. When you say talking to women is hard, no, you're soft. When you say learning a new skill is hard, no, you're soft. And what I mean by that is when you become hard, when you become a tougher individual, you become a man who is the complete package, right? You are the common denominator. Understand that. So if you go through life and everything is quote unquote hard, you try losing weight, that's hard. You try quitting the drugs, that's hard. You try talking to women, that's hard. But understand this, you're the common denominator, right? If I'm the best version of myself I've ever been. If I try anything, it's not going to be hard. It might be tough, but guess what? I'm tougher. So you have to be that way in life. If something is tough, if something is hard, you have to be harder. If something is tough, you have to be tougher. Because tell me this, if something which was considered so hard, right? Let's just use weights for an example, right? Let's just use weights. To a beginner, curling 35 pounds, that might be hard, right? Why? Because he's weak. But then you put another man who's stronger and can handle the weight, to him that's not hard. Why? Because he's stronger. So if you're going through things and you think it's hard, you have to personally develop yourself, because that's a sign that you have weak spots. You have weaknesses, and it's okay. Listen, we all have weaknesses that we need to work on. It's about minimizing all those weaknesses. So you're basically getting mostly everything strengths and then a few small weaknesses that you still work on, right? Because at the end of the day, we all are a work in progress. We all are a work until we die. Until we die, we're always constantly, we got to improve in small things. We're never perfect. You can be very close to it, right? If you become the man who is exceptional, you can be very close to it, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be completely perfect. We all have small weaknesses, right? Some people just have way bigger weaknesses because they don't focus on personally developing themselves, right? Like what's a problem to me might not be what's a problem to you might not be a problem to me, right? Because for me, I don't know. I might have a really small problem, but to you, you might be afraid to talk to women. You might be fat. You might have low confidence. You might have no social skills. You might work a job and have no skills, right? So you have a lot more problems that you have to personally develop and you have to work on before you can handle things and not think that everything is so hard, because it's not. When I finally decided that I wanted to, anything that I want to do, I'm going to do it. If I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. It's that simple. Why? Because nothing is hard for me. The moment I decide, the moment that I commit to it, there's no way, there's no possible way on this earth that I can't have what I want. And the same goes for you. If you personally develop and you become the type of person who can handle anything that comes their way, there's no way. There is absolutely no way. If I decide that I want something and I commit to doing what it takes, there's absolutely no way that I can't achieve it or I can't get it. It might take some time. Some things might take a little longer, but the moment that I commit is the moment that I set it in stone. I set it in stone. I say, this is my life. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to have. Why? Because I'm the individual who can handle it. When I finally decided, right, for all my life, I wanted to see my abs. I was wondering if I even had abs. And this whole time, I was soft. So every time I tried, I failed because I was soft. I was a soft individual. I was a weak motherfucker who didn't keep his word, who said, I'm going to do this and I wouldn't do it, who said, I'm going to make this happen and I wouldn't make it happen, who would make excuses, right? Because when you're soft, you're the type of person who makes excuses instead of making it happen. If you allow yourself to have even one excuse, you're soft. A motherfucker who's tough, a motherfucker who can handle anything, a motherfucker who can be mentally strong, mentally resilient, and have grit and push through anything, does not allow himself any excuses. Because if you fail, that's full responsibility. That's on you. That's on you, 100%. So at the end of the day, I don't allow myself a single excuse. If somewhere along the way I fuck up, I fucked up. There's no shifting the blame. Oh, but the traffic. Oh, but this. Oh, but the weather. Oh, but this. Life just gets hard. Life doesn't get hard. You're just soft. If you understand that, making sales is not hard. You're just soft. If you had a hard month, no, you were just being soft. Because if life gets hard and you get harder, then guess what? It can't physically break you. It can't mentally break you. If you are tougher than life's adversities, there's no way it can break you. So understand that and start to rid yourself of all your excuses. Because the reason why you're so soft, the reason why is because you allow yourself to have excuses. You allow yourself a way out. You allow yourself to not keep your word. I don't trust a motherfucker who doesn't keep his word. If you start to break your word, I start to trust you less. I start to have less and less respect for you because you say you're going to do something and you don't do it. And what kind of a man says something and then can't back it up? All you're doing is saying that you're weak, right? Because if you said you're going to do something, there's nothing on this earth that can get in your way. There might be obstacles. You might have to climb over some hurdles, but you can make it happen every single time if you truly commit. You truly keep your word to yourself on the smallest things. Keep your word on the smallest things, and then eventually on the bigger things, you'll achieve it with ease. So think about that for a second, right? Think about that. Think back on all the moments where you've been soft and you've used excuses like life is hard. See that right there? That's an excuse. Understand that is an excuse. Oh, life is hard. I try to lose weight, but it's hard. I try to talk to that woman, but it's hard. I try to gain confidence, but it's hard. I try to quit the drugs, but it's hard. That's an excuse. Because if you really wanted to, you would make it happen. Like I said, all my life, I wanted to lose the body fat and I wanted to see my abs. And I didn't do it. Why? Because I was soft. But the moment that I became the individual who got rid of all my excuses, enough of this hard, enough of this life is hard bullshit, right? And that's why self-talk is so important, because you got to tell yourself, I'm the motherfucker who can handle it all. I'm tough. I'm mentally resilient. No one can break me. I might fall down, but I'm going to get back up. I might fall down, but I'll bounce. I'm not going to break. I'll bounce right up. I'm not going to break. So self-talk is everything. And the moment that I became that guy who got rid of every single excuse, I achieved it with ease. I achieved it with ease. It wasn't a challenge, right? To most people, they say, when you tell them, "Oh yeah, I'm cutting. I'm on a diet." "Oh man, yeah, I've tried that, but that's hard. That's difficult." It's not difficult. You just have to do it. Like Shia LaBeouf said, just do it, right? At one point, everyone thought that was a meme, but it's funny, right? The way he's doing all that shit is funny, but it's just the point of the message is just do it. That's it. It's that simple. People use excuses like it's hard. No, you just have to do it. You just have to mentally prepare yourself and say, let's do it. You're on your team. You have to be a good teammate to yourself. Understand that. Because if people say getting up in the morning is hard, if you mentally prepare yourself the night before and you commit to what you're about to do, it's not hard. You do it and that's it. You get it over with. You set your word in stone and it's going to happen, right? You tell yourself, I'm going to wake up at this time. Then you wake up at that time. You say, I'm going to eat these foods today. And then you eat those foods. You say, I'm not going to go on those websites today. And then you don't go on the websites. You say, I'm going to quit these drugs because they're not good for me. And then you do that. You see how simple it is? People are overcomplicating these stuff. People are overcomplicating the things in life that will make you a stronger individual. It's way too overcomplicated. It's very, very, very simple. But you just have to be the type of person who doesn't allow yourself any excuses, has positive self-talk, surrounds yourself with people who are winners, and stop consuming all this bullshit, right? Because most people are consuming trash. And I was having this conversation with my boy the other day about how, like, going on Twitter, right? The reason why I don't go on Twitter is because here's the reason why. When I used to go on Twitter, I would always be scrolling, right? I would always be scrolling down. And I would start seeing so much depressing stuff. And it would make me like, I don't know what it was, but I wouldn't really feel mentally all the way there. I'd be like, what's going on? And when I really did an audit on myself and a self-evaluation, I said, man, I'm reading that stuff on Twitter all day. I'm reading that stuff on Twitter all day. And your subconscious mind, when you read something, you have to repeat it in your head, right? Like, for example, let's say I read this right now in my head. Let's see. I had to repeat to myself, think and grow rich. So in my mind, I repeated what I read in order to process it in my head, right? Because if I just look at it and I don't repeat it in my head, then your brain is not going to process it. But you have to repeat it in your head, right? So when you're going on these websites and you're going on Twitter and just consuming a bunch of garbage from people who are the most low-level individuals that you can find on this planet, grouping up together on this site, and you're just consuming that all day, your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference. When someone comments on there, man, I hate my job, you read that, I hate my job. Man, I hate my life. Man, I hate my life. Man, whatever the case may be, you start to program your subconscious mind. So, like I told my boy, when you think about Twitter as a space, when you think about it, instead of thinking about it as an app, think about it this way. We all know the saying, you surround yourself with 5 people and you're going to be the 6th person who, whatever it is that they are, right? Your friends are who you're going to be. When you go on Twitter, think about this. Ask yourself this. Ask yourself, if I was in a room with all these low-level individuals, and all we talked about all day was a bunch of excuses, a bunch of excuses, a bunch of excuses, then guess what? You'd just be the next person who'd make excuses. You would be negative. I don't want to talk to anyone who is not talking to me about something productive, about how to make more money, about how to improve myself. I'm at that point in life where I just don't care to talk about nothing. Understand that I'm at the point where I don't care to talk about nothing. If it's not about something productive, if it's not about bettering yourself as a person, if it's not about how to make more money, I'm not interested in talking. I'm not interested in wasting my time. And you should be the same way, because when you're on these websites consuming trash, you're downloading that into your mind and you're going to become that person. When you're going on about your day and you're becoming an individual who is more tough, more mentally resilient, turn on these podcasts, turn on these videos while you're doing things, right? I'm not saying just stay stuck and do nothing and listen to this motivation, right? Because when you listen to motivation all day, it's just mental masturbation. You're just making yourself feel good as if that's going to do something for your life. But when you're doing something throughout your day, when you're working, when you're, I don't know, typing something, when you're cleaning up your house, whatever you're doing, listen to people who you want to be like. Because when you listen to, you select a group of people who are high level individuals, meaning they've mastered all the areas in their life. So listen to those people while you do what you do. While I'm working, I'm listening to people who really inspire me and motivate me, because it's almost like the social circle, right? You're surrounding yourself with killers, even though it's on a podcast or it's on an audiobook, whatever the case may be. But your mind is always being fed, always being fed. And when it's being fed by people who are inspiring you to grow, then it's constantly going to push you to become better. But when you're on these websites, guess what? Life is going to be hard. You're going to make excuses. So rid yourself of all your excuses. Get off these websites. Surround yourself with people who are genuinely a better influence in your life. And you're going to see things start to get a lot better. You're going to see doors start to open up. You're going to see yourself in any position that you're put in life. You're going to see yourself succeeding. The reason why I was able to quit my job and go into sales full time is because I'm that individual. It doesn't matter what you put me in. I'm going to make it happen because I don't have excuses. So if something's going wrong, I have to go harder. If something's getting tough, I have to be tougher. If something is trying to break me, guess what? I'm going to fight back. Because you're not going to break me. I will break you before you break me, because I'm mentally resilient. So the reason why I was able to do that, go from working a job all my life to going into sales, is because I have the mindset of someone who has no excuses. So it doesn't matter what you put me in. I try to learn the muscle up, learned it. Why? No excuses. I wanted to see my abs, I did it. No excuses. I wanted to go into sales, no excuses. And anything else that you add into my life, no excuses. Doesn't matter what it is. I'll make it happen. All right? So think about that. When you click off this video, think about what excuses you've been making, and think about where you could improve in your life. What are your weaknesses? Be honest with yourself and become that optimal man who can handle it all. Because at the end of the day, you're the common denominator. Whether it's good or whether it's bad. If it's good, then you're going to handle everything with ease. Life's not going to be hard. But when you're that low level, soft beta bitch, weak motherfucker, guess what? Everything's going to be hard. Everything's going to be difficult. Everything's going to be challenging. Let me show you this cat. Come here, buddy. I'm cat sitting right now. Oh, buddy. That's the video for today, guys. Like the video. Leave a comment down below. And I saw the last video that was like styled like this had more views. So that's why I did it again. Because I figured, who knows, maybe you guys like it more. If you like it, leave a comment down below. If you don't, say, man, this shit is trash. Take this shit off. Don't ever do this again. And guess what? Like I said, I listen to the haters too. I take it. I don't get offended by it. I just look at it and I say, does this have some truth to it? And if it does, cool. If it doesn't, who cares? That's the video for today, guys. Peace out.